Hi, my name is Peter Rick. I consider myself to be a fairly spiritual man. So therefore, what I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years is investigating whether or not life exists after death. And when I talk to friends about it, when I talk to acquaintances, that kind of thing, there's a lot of confusion about it, whether or not people exist after death, if a person has a soul, if, whatever, all sorts of stuff that there's a lot of misconceptions about it. So I've been going to things like spiritual churches, I've been going to Catholic churches and Presbyterian churches and all that, investigating this type of stuff. I've taken a number of psychic courses, a number of healing courses, a number of different ways of developing mediumship courses. And so I got a kind of a good feel for this kind of thing, and frankly, what I found is that I think there is something out there. Okay, I think that there is life after death, and I've seen more than enough evidence to support this. But first, what I'd like to do is talk about the human soul, because there's a lot of confusion about the human soul, and most people don't even think they have a soul, or they're not sure about the soul and all that kind of stuff. People do have a human soul. You do have a human soul. You have a human soul. You have a soul. Now, some people have described it as an energy field, some people describe it as a memory bank, some people describe it as whatever. My feeling is that the human soul is basically type of permanent hard drive, if you want to put it in computer terms, that records all the events, all of your impressions, all the thoughts that you've had, okay, and that becomes part of your soul, okay? And on top of that, it's your character. The only thing that survives death is character, okay? Whenever I've been in seances, or whenever I've been doing mediumship, what comes abundantly clear is the person's personality. It's the only way that they can identify the person. What comes through is what her personality is like. Now, I got news for you. You're unlike what some people suppose. Your soul, your character, does not take a huge transformation after death. There isn't a sudden enlightenment. You understand? There isn't suddenly that you have access to all knowledge. So some people actually get kind of disappointed. They think that grandma here or grandpa or whatever, all of a sudden they're going to have the keys to the universe. And it doesn't happen like that. You basically go on, you're going to continue on, you're going to continue to advance, and there isn't this giant awakening. It's a gradual thing. It's an evolutionary thing. The spirit realm is one where you continue to advance. Now, how do you detect the soul? I'll go into the hierarchy of souls in a moment as well, right? And what to expect after life and death, probably in another video. How do you detect a soul? Well, everybody has an electromagnetic field around them, okay? It's proven by science. I've even seen documentaries where a person would hold on to like a neon bulb and all of a sudden it start to glow because their electricity in their body is so heavy, right? That's one of the indications of the soul, right? Now, some people go, well, I can't see it, and I can't do this, and I can't do, it's not there because I don't see it, right? Well, I would say to you, right, you, Mr. Skeptic, do you think love exists? Do you think hate exists? Do you think any of these emotions exist? Bring me a plate of love in a bucket, or bring me some love in a bucket. Just go there, grab the love, bring it back. Right? You can't, right? It's invisible. But if you ask 99.9% of the people, does love exist? They would say, of course. They've experienced it. They know what it feels like. That it feels like to them. They see people that are in love. They can tell by their body language, by all sorts of things, right? Same sort of things with your soul. You don't see it directly, but you can detect it. You can feel it. Now, how do you do this? One of the best ways and easiest ways, rub your hands, okay? And you can feel your aura, which is part of your soul, okay? The soul is kind of like a coatiness over your body that extends outwards. Some people feel it goes beyond the universe, like it goes way out there. But I think that the energy condenses as it gets close to your body. So that's one of the ways we have differentiate one from another, okay? There's called the etheric body as well, which is an exact duplicate of you. So, for example, if you lose an arm or a leg, you'll have the phantom body part syndrome thing, where you feel that if you lose your fingers, you'll still feel that the finger's there. That's part of your etheric body. When they've taken Kirlian photography and they would take a leaf, for example, this Kirlian, and what they would do is put an object on a magnetic plate, running a bit of a charge through it, right? Develop it, and it'd be kind of like a fuzzy sort of outline on a thing. But what they find is that if they cut off a part of the branch or a part of a leaf, let's say, and take the shot, it'll still have that outline as before, right? So it remains, right? It's the body, you know, part of it was still there. Okay. When you die, your soul leaves your body. All right. And some people see it as a vapor. Some people see it as, you know, just, you know, as you're shedding, you know, you're leaving the husk behind, so to speak. When you leave your body, right, because your body is just a meat jacket, as some people refer to it, right, derogatorily. But we do need our bodies, because in order for us to learn, we have to have some way of being able to interact with the environment, you see. But when you do leave it, you can take on different forms, but most people take on the same form that they were because they're most familiar with it. In the spirit realm, your soul starts to revert back to your prime of your life. For example, let's say you died when you're 90. Well, you would slowly make your way back until you're the most vibrant, healthy individual. Okay? Or if you're a baby, the baby will continue growing until, say, 20 or 25 years old or so, when, you know, the baby is adult, the potential that the baby was supposed to be, that kind of thing, right? But your soul is separate from your mind, it's separate from your body, and it's basically your character. Now, how do you detect it? Okay? As I inferred earlier, rub your hands together, right? It doesn't really matter, you don't have to do a whole lot. And what you do is you start with your hands apart. I usually have it apart about this far, right? And then I slowly bring my hands together, okay? And as you slowly do this, I would encourage you to try this yourself, right? You slowly bring your hands together. I usually do kind of like a rocking motion like this, right? But I'm slowly bringing it together. Let me feel this for a second. It's really, really subtle, okay? It's like a feather touching would be very strong compared to what you're probably going to feel, right? Give it a try. I'm starting to feel it about here. Right? And get a little bit closer together, and it starts getting stronger. Increase your sensitivity. Oh, I lost it. It's too subtle. Hang on. Let's try it one more time. Okay, I'm starting to feel it now. Stronger. Very strong. Very strong. Do you feel it? Give it a try. It's really strong now. Now, I'm not telling you what I'm feeling just yet, because I want you to try it, if you can. Okay? It's really strong now. Okay? Do you feel it? All right. Here's what I feel. Okay? And the reason why I didn't want to describe what I felt was because I don't want to give you a suggestion. I don't want to put it in your mind, and then all of a sudden you start feeling it. To me, as I have my hands apart like this and I start bringing them closer together, it starts to feel like there's a water balloon, or not even a water balloon, like an air balloon in between my hands. So imagine a balloon like this, and as I'm pressing it, you're feeling that tension pushing back against it. See? Sometimes I'll feel it like a magnet, right? So if you have like the north and south, right, they'd click like that. But if you have north against north, they would push against each other, you know, and they'd start to go like this and stuff. That's what it can feel like as well. That's another analogy that you can use. Now, with the soul, it extends out beyond you like this. You can also detect it by seeing it. We tried this exercise. Here's another way of looking at it, okay? When you look at a person, and I'll use myself because I have this camera in reverse. When you're looking at a person and you kind of look past them, between me, for example, and this fence behind me. So I would focus my eyes right about where my hand is right here, okay? Now, the plainer the background, the better it is. So if you can have a friend, or if a person that you're looking at has particularly like a dark or light background behind them, it works even better. Okay, when it's jumbled up like this, it's difficult sometimes. What you're looking for, what I see, okay, is an outline around the person, all right? This outline, to me, looks very similar to when you look at, for me it's transparent, but you know how if you look at a glass and you see along the edge of the glass, right, there's a a little bit of tension where the water, and it kind of goes up on the side, and there's that little bit along the edge of the glass. It's transparent, but you can kind of see the edge where it kind of goes up. That's what it kind of appears like to me. To me, there's often a little outline around the person, very subtle, right? And sometimes I can see kind of like little particles, sort of speckly sort of thing going, like, you know, like that. You see, not in a motion, but all over, but kind of like a little bit of like the air is dancing around their shoulders, let's say. Other times, I'll see the person as if they're glowing. So it'd be light, right? It would get really light, and then there would be usually a dark edge along the edge of the person. So it's almost like you're looking at a flame where the flame is, you know, just where the match is dark, but just where the flame starts up and stuff is lighter. Similar sort of idea, very, very subtle, right? Is it retinal burn? I don't know. I don't think so, because I've seen it on some people that are stronger. Sometimes I would see parts that would shoot off a person, you know, or parts that would come off their head or whatever. It'd be different sort of, different ways of perceiving this stuff. I have friends, you know, that I've met through my mediumship courses and psychic courses, that kind of stuff, that can see people in colors. So let's say, think happy thoughts, and the person would turn, say, I don't know, like a pink, let's say, or, you know, think sad thoughts, and they would start turning like a blue, you know, blue or gray or something similar to that, right? You can try that too, you know, think happy thoughts and look at the person. Tell the person to stand underneath the light bulb and think about love. You know, have them think about a person in love with somebody, or their son or daughter or wife, husband, and see if the glow increases or decreases, you know, that kind of thing, okay? It's repeatable, right? So you can do it again and again and again. You can see it over and over, right? You can start to sensitize yourself if you're in, say, a board meeting, right? And, you know, or a school meeting or something like that, right? And all of a sudden, you know, things are getting kind of dull. Try looking between the people instead of looking at the person here, you know, as you're zoning out. Look around them and see if you can see, you know, subtle energy sort of, you know, wafting around, you know, like moving and stuff like that. You know, see if you can see things along the walls, you know, or if you can see slight distortions, that kind of thing. It's kind of akin to when you're having just on the edge of your perception, but as you look at it, usually it comes in stronger, right? At least it does for me. Okay, that's the spirit realm. That's what you're seeing as the person's aura, right? And if you see ones around the person, that's probably not them. It's probably somebody else that's in there, like a spirit guide or a, you know, or somebody else, you know, like somebody visiting, whatever, right? Your soul does indeed last, right? It does indeed survive death. Okay, that's two ways. Another way is by using dividing rods, right? So you get like a coat hanger, right? Snip it off, have like an L shape. You hold it like this, and then you know what you do, right? So imagine that the rod's coming out like that, right? So what you do, you try not to grip it too tightly or put it in like a tube, right? Then you have somebody walk up to it with their hands like this, right? Thinking happy thoughts, right? And usually the rod's like that, or thinking sad thoughts like that, or they'll cross over or whatever, you know, or they'll go to one side or the other. That's your aura affecting that material. That's your aura pushing that rod around. The thinner the wire, the better it is, right? Because it's like I said, it's really, really subtle for this type of thing. But there's a couple of different ways of feeling your aura. Okay? You do have a soul. I assure you that you have a soul. Everybody has a soul. Thank you for watching this video. This is going to be the first of a series of videos. I hope to try to get out to people so that they can be kind of reassured, because there's a lot of bad stuff that's going on out there, and therefore what I like to do is dispel some of the myths and some of the attitudes, you know, because it's gotten to the point where people don't even think that they exist anymore, that they don't have a soul, they don't have anything. So thank you again, and look for my next video, which will be probably on the spirit realm. Thank you.